Hi there. Welcome to the Rubber Room. I am Chris Colley and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. It is Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock, which means it's time for a live at lunchtime. I love to come here and give you guys a little bit of inspiration. We're actually going to be doing a Stamping 101 class today, kind of. We got a lot of new team members during celebration, which is absolutely wonderful. We welcomed 23 new members to our team. So it's been a lot of fun getting to know everyone. And so one of the things I did was last night during our team meeting, I did some very basic stamping cards. Of course, you can, if you're a seasoned stamper, you can bling them up, so to speak, add different layers to them, make it more your style, but just some basic kind of tips. But before we jump in there, I am going to share our swaps with you. We do a team meeting swap every month, and this month our theme was Fun Folds. So this was the card that Ellen shared with us, and it uses that new rhino and the new leaf, and they are online exclusives. I love those little colored matte dots. I'm going to miss those when they're gone. It says, hello, friend, and that DSP is so bright and cheery, and look at that fold. Isn't that something? It's just so cool. I love it. So that was Ellen's swap. This one was Beth's swap, and it has all these little fold up pieces to it, so kind of a little origami look with the little daisies. This is that Playing in the Rain Designer Series paper. It is still available, and it is in on the last chance list though, and some little champagne rhinestones, and she even gave us a little kind of cheat sheet for it. So there's sections that are 1 by 2.5, and then they're just folded up like that, and you need 5 sections. So again, 1.5 by 2.5, and you're just going to fold them in like that and put them down the front of your card. That is so gorgeous. I can't wait to try that. Super fun. And that again was Beth's card. I like it when they swap because I get one of everybody's swaps. This is Marielle's card. It's that beautiful, pretty peacock paper that just came back in, and the teacup stamp set with some little pearls, some designer series paper. Absolutely beautiful. I love the way she's colored it, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has, she's used Wink of Stella on those flowers. So pretty. So here's the fun fold, right? You're going to fold down. It says Happy Mother's Day, and then up. So it's like a trifold. She even kind of antiqued to the edges, roughed them up a little bit there. How fun is that? That's a beautiful Mother's Day card. And that striped embossing folder is on your last chance list too. So that was Marielle's card. And then Anna's card. And she actually won the contest. We always vote for our favorite one, and it's kind of hard not to be the favorite when you're using this gorgeous designer series paper, right? That's that Irresistible Blooms, and then those dots. Oh, and this is on back order until I think the 17th, so I think you can start getting it again next week, but absolutely gorgeous. The whole suite is beautiful. But look at her fun fold. You have that little belly band, and then you pull these sides up, and it says, I like you. So you have these sides like this. Isn't that beautiful? So gorgeous. And this was Anna's first time stamping with us. How cool is that? I mean, not stamping with us, but joining our swap. She always comes to the meetings and stamps with us, but this was her first time joining the swap. And she won too, so very cool. Thank you for sharing with us, Anna. And then this one was a new team member, Kate. Isn't this fun? This is that, again, the Playing in the Rain stamp set. And she's used like a window sheet and embossed it. I don't know if you can see that, but she's embossed it with the raindrop embossing folder. It is so adorable. And then added a little wink of Stella on here. And you have the little fence. So it's kind of like a diorama, if you remember back when you were in school. Just a little kind of diorama thing. And look at the back. How fun is that? I'm so happy you were born. I think that is just gorgeous. And she sponged the edges there with some garden green. So it almost looks like you have a piece of garden green paper behind there. So very cool. And then those were all of our swaps. But somebody, and if you're on my team and you're watching and these belong to you, please leave me a comment or text me or email me. Let me know that these belong to you. They were left on our share table. Hi, Kay. Thanks for tuning in today. And thanks so much for sharing. I love it when you share my videos, you guys. So if these were yours, they were on our share table. Each month we do a share table, and you get an extra ticket in the prize pail when you share. And so everybody just brings what they're working on, and we put them out on a table just to kind of inspire everybody else. So this is that Dainty Delights celebration paper, and it opens like this. So your belly band is kind of a card in itself, but wait till you see what happens when you take that belly band off. Check this out. Isn't that cool? I think that is so beautiful. So somebody was playing with their fun folds, and that is just gorgeous. So thank you for sharing it. And if you did not mean to leave it here, let me know. I'm happy to return it. Of course, after I case it. And this was the other one. That's that little bunny from the Playing in the Rain. And it's on like a little, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can hold it so you can see. Like a little bouncy spring back there. Let's see if I can get it up there so you can. I'm on a little bouncy spring. Very cool. So it looks like he's kind of hopped off that little stump there, right? And then you open it up, and you have a little, like a gift card holder here. So you can put a little gift card in there or a check in there. Little spring flowers. And this punch is going to be retiring too. Lots of things are on that retirement list, you guys. And you have until the end of the month to get your retired stuff. So, and I also have a host code for you to use too. And I'll be sending you cards. I think you're going to actually get a mystery goodie bag from me this month too. So, and she's embossed those letters so you can see they're all shiny. So if this again was your card that you left here, thank you so much. And if it was left here by accident, just let me know and I will return it to you. Okay, so we have been doing paper pumpkin add-ons, and one of the things that we could add on a couple of months back, I want to say like maybe last year, even in November, October and November, was this packet of cards. They're called Good Things Cards and Envelopes, and there are 20 pieces in here. So you have, I think, 4 each of 5 different colors, or 5 each of 4 different colors maybe. Lots of cards in here, and then coordinating envelopes with them. So I have a pack of these to give away. So if you place a minimum $35 order using my host code, I will send you an entire pack of cards, and then I'll send you some pieces to make the cards I'm going to share with you today. So the first one we're going to make, these card bases have envelopes that coordinate. So some of them have dots on them and some of them have stripes. This one happens to be balmy blue. Let's see, there's nothing else in this envelope. And the card bases, let's see if I can pick that one up, are kind of like a little variegated. So they have a little bit of white in them. Boy, that one got a lot of shadow on it for some reason. Okay, so we're just going to fold this in half. It's already scored for you. So we're just going to burnish it on the score line. And we are going to use these the Regency Park or Sentimental Park stamp set to make this card. And I'm going to share with you a little trick I started off this one. We actually have some Pear Pizzazz cardstock and some basic white cardstock. And the Pear Pizzazz is cut at 3 3/8 by 3. So it's, I'm sorry, 3 3/8 by 3. Okay, so I'm going to start by stamping my sentiment in my Pear Pizzazz ink. Okay, so it's our Stamping 101. If you guys have never used our ink pads before, they open like a compact. So they have a little divot kind of right there. Put your thumb right on it and lift it up, flip it, and then push it in. Okay? And to stamp, to ink your stamp, just 3 little quick taps. And then because this one's photopolymer, I can see right through it. And that's right where I want my words to go. So that's my sentiment right there. And I'm going to leave this ink pad open and stamp the outside of my leaves. When I'm doing a 2-step stamp, and 2-step stamps mean you have an outer part and an inner part, and they layer together, and you get kind of a lot of depth and dimension from it. And they'll say right on the bottom, 2-step. So when you see that, you know they're going to be 2-step. So you're going to have the outline and then, or the outline and then the inside of the stamp. In this one, Sentimental Park is going to be carrying over, and it has great words in it, and it coordinates really well with the Petal Park. So those two kind of, you can see the kind of style of the flower matches, and again, both of them are 2-step stamps. So we use the words from Sentimental Park, and we're going to use this flower from Petal Park, okay? So I'm going to bring my little ink pad in. And I like to, when I'm doing a 2-step stamp, start with the darkest image, because that gives me something to, I get a little bit of ink on the edge there that I'm going to wipe up, because then I can see the dark image, and that will help me to line up my lighter image. So again, it's photopolymer, and I've cut this so that my leaves are going to go off the page a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of line it up like that. And then I'm going to leave my ink pad out. What I'm going to do is I want to be sure this is going to be the inside stamp. So it's like the second step. You can see I'm kind of like a messy stamper. I was sharing the markers last night at our meeting and kind of got marker on myself. Don't know how that happened, but this is going to be the inside of our stamp, and because this part kind of is thin, it moves around a lot. So here's what I did. This is your tip. I'm going to put my stamp right over that outline I just stamped. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of make sure every piece of it is lined up where I want it to stamp. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my block, and I'm going to set it on top of my stamp. Okay, so now I know this is going to be like the perfect matchup here. The easiest way to do 2-step stamping when you're learning is to use the same color ink and use what we call a 1st generation and a 2nd generation. Okay, so for the thanks and the first outline of our stem, we used a 1st generation. And a 2nd generation just means we're going to stamp off. So I'm just going to stamp on my scrap paper. And then I'm going to line it up with my outline image that I already stamped. And this is going to give me a lighter image. Okay, so you can see how I just kind of very easily built a lot of depth and texture to those stamps. And again, the same color ink for both of them. So now I'm going to bring in a little piece of scrap paper, and I have my flowers, and they're going to be the same way. This full part is going to line up right inside of the outline. So you can see the outline there, and I'm going to stamp that in Balmy Blue, and I'm going to use the first generation, and then I'm going to come in with my kind of filler piece, and I want this my second generation, so I'm just going to stamp it over here on my scrap paper. I'm going to get my ink pad out of the way because I can easily make a mess with that. And I'm just going to again line this stamp up inside my outline image. Okay? And then I'm just going to take this, and we have the punch that coordinates with it. So I'm going to flip my punch over. This little button here will either close your punch. You can see it's closed there. And I'm going to just release it and open it up. And I have stamped my flowers in the wrong direction. So I'm going to grab my snips and just cut off that little extra at the bottom there. And then I'm going to pop that into my punch and get it all lined up. I still need to trim a little bit here. And if you're in a situation where you don't really have enough room on your scrap paper to hold it like I am here, you can always build yourself a little handle with a Post-it note to kind of move it in and out. Okay, so I'm just lining it up to where I know I'm gonna get the punched image that I want. And I love this. You can see that it lines up perfectly with just a little bit of white trim around the edges. Now when you're punching, I want to flip it over, and I want to be sure I keep my hands away from here. So you just want to kind of do a two thumb like that. Otherwise you're going to pinch that little part of your thumb in there. Okay? And when I store it, I'm just going to close it back up again. All right. Oh, oops. Let me get some of this trash out of the way here. Okay, so we have our 3 flowers now in these 2 pieces. I'm just going to use my regular Stampin' Seal and put that on the back of my white piece. And this is basic white, and I'm just going to give myself a little bit of an edge. There we go. And I'm going to again use my Stampin' Seal. Now, if you are a seasoned stamper, you might want to put some gems in the middle of these flowers. You might want to add a little bit of twine and make a little ribbon over here or a bow. However you want to do it. This is just very basic. That is gonna ensure that even if you're a beginner stamper, you're gonna be successful at this. You can see how quick and easy that was to do, right? And I'm gonna add some dimensionals. I think there are certain things that every stamper has to have, and those things are dimensionals, adhesive, your good pair of paper snips. And then from there, if you could even just pick 1 color or 2 colors of ink, you're going to be good to go to get started for sure. Okay? And here on this one, we just used 2 colors of ink and our dimensionals. So it is really a very beginning stamper kind of card. We're just going to put that, I am going to check and make sure it's opening in the right direction. It is. Okay. So there you go. I think that took me all of like about 5 minutes. And you have this beautiful coordinating envelope. Even just to buy our paper pumpkin coming out this month has a pack of, I think, 18 cards and envelopes. So even just to buy those cards and envelopes, that gives you a great base to start with. Very, very pretty card, and you can kind of move those flowers around in there if you want to, but very simple and easy to make. So one of my other favorite sets that is going to continue and carry over in the new catalog, I had some sets that I hadn't gotten a chance to play with yet, and I got this one. My granddaughter is quite fond of calling her dad a silly goose. So I had to get the Silly Goose stamp set. And again, we're going to be using these cards. So we have a little bit of designer series paper and 2 pieces, a fresh freesia piece and a basic white. And the basic white I cut out with my deckled rectangle dies. And then I have some Blushing Bride and another piece of basic white. So for this one, I am just going to pull my goodies out here. Okay, so I'm just going to be using my black Memento ink, and I am going to stamp my geese right on there. Okay, so for this card, we're just going to use this card and the next card. We're just going to use some basic black ink, which for me is the Tuxedo Memento Black, okay? And I'm going to stamp it right in the middle because these are photopolymer. We can see right where we're going to stamp. And again, you can add grass to this at the bottom. You can do all kinds of things to fancy it up. But for today, we're just going to leave it kind of unfancied. I'm going to, while I have my ink out here, I'm going to stamp my words on there. And you can use just a piece of scrap paper. You can see it's like a 1/2 inch of cardstock. Normally I would stamp on my cardstock first and then cut it that 1/2 inch, but I happen to have some scraps that were just that size, so they worked out perfectly. I'm going to bring my snips in, and I'm just going to cut this at a little bit of an angle on both sides. I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put it on my Blushing Bride. I kind of like this time of year. We're getting all new colors in. Oh my gosh. So I will be putting the final touches on my new In Color Club. I am so excited about the new In Colors. At the Stampapalooza event on Saturday, I have my catalogs ready to go and a little new In Color bookmark, which I handed out to my team last night. So the new In Colors are just beautiful. They're not bright and cheery, but they are perfect for the neutrals. So they'll coordinate with just about anything, which is really, really good. Okay, so, and we have 11 new core colors, and those are really bright and kind of in your face, so they're more cheery summer colors. It's funny how I think of colors as being for seasons. You know, in the spring, it's definitely pastels, and in the winter, it's the regals, you know, so I don't know what my brain thinks, but and of course, summer is the bright, cheery brights. Here we go. So I'm going to take my pumpkin pie blend, color the beaks, and I'm going to take my mango melody dark blend and color his little feet. This is the time of the year when the ducks at our pond, they're all flipped upside down eating, so when you go to the pond, all you see are their butts and feet sticking up in the air. really, geese and ducks are kind of silly. My son, though, is extremely silly. So when Doc calls him a silly goose, it really kind of hits home with them. So I'm going to take some Wink of Stella. This is kind of one of those other things I think that even if you're a new stamper, you need a wink because it adds just a little bit of shimmer. This, if you remember Marielle's card, she had it on the flowers. It just adds, it makes it kind of really pop, which I think if you're not putting on some rhinestones or some ribbon, something like that, you need to add dimension. So the first card, we added a little bit of dimension with the two-step stamping. This one, we're going to get a little bit of dimension. Oh, I got a little bit of black ink in there on that one with our Wink of Stella. And it has kind of a brush tip, so it's just kind of like using a little paintbrush. And it dries fairly quickly. I'll show you because I'm just going to set it up there for now. And then I'm going to bring in my card base. And I'm just going to fold and burnish it. And then I have my designer series paper. This is part of that really big pack of paper that we got as a hostess. And it is so pretty. I love those little pastel colors because, again, right, it's a spring, so you need some pastel colors. And this card's going to open this way. So I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back of my Fresh Freesia piece. And I'm going to center that right in the middle. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on my sentiment here. And if you have the small Stampin' Dimensionals, you can use those too. They will work just fine on there. And then my ducks are dry, or my geese are dry. So I am going to add just a little bit of Stampin' Seal to the back. And you can see where I've colored his feet. So be sure when you're using your Stampin' Blends that you are using them on scrap paper because they will bleed through. Okay, I'm just going to center that. Peel off the backs of my goosebumps. And it's going to go right up there. Super cute, quick and easy, but you can see how much kind of sparkle you get from your Wink of Stella there. And then, of course, you have this great little envelope that coordinates with it. So how fun is that? My granddaughter is going to love getting that in the mail. Okay, then we have one more. I know I'm closing in on 12:30, but bear with me because I think that this is a really cute card too, right? Okay, so we have, this is your basic gray card base. And that packet has these three colors and then a, I want to say certainly celery, but that's because I'm a really old demonstrator. Certainly celery is not a color anymore. I think it's pear pizzazz. That's what it is. Okay, so for this one, again, I have a piece of designer series paper. This one came from the Happily with the that had the bear and the mushrooms on it. And it's going away. I am going to really miss it. But we have some great new designer series papers coming in. Oh, I'm at the end. Let's see if I have a new one in here. There we go. Okay, so let's get some Stampin' Seal. So we have great new colors coming in. I just, you know, kind of that creature of habit. And I always miss my designer series paper because Stampin' Up! Has the very best designer series paper. I've been known to frame it more often than not. It is so gorgeous that you do want to frame it because sometimes I can't really like bring myself to use it all, right? Okay, so again, we're coming in with our black memento ink. This is going to be a little birthday card. And again, we're going to do some coloring on this one. And this color, I think, kind of makes it a little more masculine. And I think that looks like a heart. I think they're actually little paw prints. but I'm going to use it as a heart. So again, I have cut out a deckled dies rectangle. I'm kind of sad that the stitched rectangle dies are going to be leaving us in this catalog, but this is a great substitute. So I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to stamp my little guy on there. And then while I have my ink pad out, I'm going to stamp my words. Oh, where did I put them? I know I just had them. I need to get a place to organize my words, like I have a place to organize my other essentials, like my snips. I think that one went down way too far. It did. Look at that, right at the bottom. I could tell when I was pushing it down. So, okay, this one's going to be better. There. Much better, right? Okay. And it's still a little crooked. I don't like that. So I'm just going to grab another piece of scrap paper here. And we'll trim that in a minute, okay? All right. Get those out of the way. And then I'm going to use my blends again. This time I'm going to use a light pumpkin pie for his feet. And I want his beak to be just a little bit darker. I most of the time use my blend on this blunt tip end. I use the brush tip end when I am going to do some flicking. That's what I use my brush tip end for. Okay, and then I have some coral. It's light calypso coral. And I think that's what color it is in the designer series paper. So this will coordinate nicely with that. I'm going to color my balloon. Here we go. And I like that Stampin' Up! You really don't have to be an artist to get your shading in there. So I'm just going to color again right over those lines. Make them a little bit darker in there. And then I have this old olive blend. This old olive blend has been to war and back. It has seen very inhumane treatment. And I am sure not by me, but look at the brush tip end of this. You're going to laugh, right? How funny is that? So this is what it should look like. Should look like that, but we have loved up on this one so much it looks like that. But I was going to throw it out, except that it is perfect for grass. Watch this. How fun is that, right? It's kind of just like perfect to get that grass growing in there kind of look. So I saved it. And then I'm going to take my light smoky slate and I'm going to color my goose with it. I don't know what the difference is between a goose and a duck. I'm sure there is one though. So I'm just going to color this. What do you have? You have geese, you have swans, you have ducks, chickens, roosters, all kinds of fowl things, right? Isn't that what we call those, fowl? All right, and then I'm going to come back in and again, just color where those lines are to give a little bit of kind of oomph to my wings there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a minute while I tackle my words here. And you can do this like you did the other ones where we're just going to trim up our words like we did on the Goosebumps one and just kind of angled them at the bottom. This one I'm just going to kind of cut all the way around them. And again, this will give it a little bit more kind of, we're going to pop it up for a little bit more dimension. So these are really, you can see as long as you can color, You are good to go for this one. And the first one we did with the Regency Park and Sentimental Park, you didn't have to color anything. And you just needed 2 different color ink pads. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my little guy. And again, you can see, I'm not going to do that there because I will manage to get tape everywhere. I'm not liking that one. Let's try here. There we go. So, because you're gonna get that ink everywhere, so you do want to again do it on a piece of scrap paper. And if you are an advanced stamper, you probably will mount that on a piece of coral or even a piece of basic gray. I'm going to bring in my little tiny dimensionals for these words. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of set them up kitty wampus at the bottom there. Let's see. I think we can use about 3 of them on here. There we go. And we actually have dimensionals. We have the mini ones, we have the regular sized ones, and then we have black ones too. So, and then we have sheets of them, and we have strips of them. Everything is better on a dimensional, right? Okay, so there's our Silly Goose. How fun is that? And then you have this gorgeous little striped envelope. So the stripes in that kind of, I think, match the little stripes in his hat. So, and that stamp set is called Silly Goose. And this is probably my favorite stamp in there. It has that little frog in it and that sun hat. I think it is just so cute. And my favorite saying, of course, sending a big honkin' thanks. I send a lot of thank you cards, so that's kind of cute. And then I like You've Got a Friend in Me. That reminds me of that children's nursery rhyme, right? Sending gaggles of good wishes. Of course, this guy with the thanks. So, and this Silly Goose for your birthday. Okay, so really quick, 101 stamping. You have that one, and then you have this one, and then we have the Sentimental Park, which is our 2-step stamping. So really fun, quick, and easy cards. Minimum $35 order this week using the host code, and I'll send you the pieces to make these cards and a whole pack of cards and envelopes. So let me quick, before I go, see if anybody has any questions at all. I know I kept you a bit over, but you want to be sure and come back and check out my In Color Club stuff. I'll be posting that here tomorrow. Bambi, I love Pear Pizzazz too. Thank you. I'm sad to see it go. But, you know, it's like anything. There's some new colors that are coming in. I'm glad Lemon Lime Twist came back. So I try not to get too emotional about what's leaving and stay excited about what's coming. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I enjoyed spending some time with you and crafting. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Bye-bye.